Very good. Welcome, everybody, to the April edition of the Marketing Professionals Doug Meetup Group. My name is Liz Hallen, and I am here to welcome all of you. And we're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming partner marketing event, which we're very excited to be hosting. But before we get there, just a quick overview and rundown of Doug and what we do and who we are. So Kelly, if you can go to the next slide. We are a community, independent community, and we are free and open to anybody that is interested in the Microsoft Dynamics and Power Platform communities. We would ask that during the call today that everybody mind their P's and Q's. This is not a sales pitch. We're here to educate you and really help to grow your network. So please leverage the Doug Meetup program for that. If you want to go to the next slide, in addition to the Doug Meetup programs that you are joining and watching today, Doug does offer several other free programs where you can get education from our online discussion forums to our webinars, and we have a very robust YouTube channel, including recordings of Doug Meetup calls just like this one. So this recording will be available on the Doug YouTube channel after the event, but we would love to have you join the Dynamics user group as a member. Our membership is free for each individual. In addition to the meetups that we host online and in person, we have DynamicsCon regionals. These are larger in scope, typically about 150 attendees, multiple products, a full day free event. And we are coming to Canada next in Toronto. We'll be in Denver in August. We'll be in Dublin or Columbus, Ohio in August, and then Texas in September, as well as we are already planning our 2026 regionals. So we'll be back in Tampa in January of 26. If you are in our international audience, I have the pleasure of going to Africa this year, so we will be in Ghana and Kenya towards the end of July, and in Europe in the Microsoft office in Copenhagen in September as well. If you are not able to join us for any of those, we would love for you to come to Chicago the week of May 13th. We're going to be having a fantastic event there, a couple thousand individuals coming and learning and networking with each other. We do have a discount code, 15% off on your screen here, and I'm happy to put that in the chat. And of course, right before DynamicsCon, we have the partner marketing event, which we are all talking about today. So I think I'm probably passing it back to Kelly, who will give us more information about PME.
Amazing. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. My name is Kelly Mazur. I'm the marketing director at Evenica, and I've been helping out with Rick McCutcheon as we put together the partner marketing event. Sam and Brianna have been a huge push on that as well, and we've all been trying to pull together great speakers and lots of content for that event. And so today we're going to talk about what to expect at that event and how to make the most of your time there. So I want to introduce everyone on the panel today. I'm going to hand that over to you, Rick, to introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. Rick McCutcheon. I'm a Dynamics MVP, and I host a show called Partner Talks, and I'm heavily involved with the Doug user groups in the Canadian events and some of the other groups. And I've been working with them also on the partner marketing event. This is our third version of this event, and it's going to be a good one.
Brianna.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brianna Sierra. I'm member manager here at Doug. What that means is I primarily focus on making sure that our sponsors are taken care of and also just uplifting the partner community to make sure that they're successful within our community. And that's where the partner marketing event really ties in. So it's been so fun to just provide programming that really benefits them and their marketing goals.
And a face that I think we all know, but Sam Bush, please introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. I am Sam Bush. I am a partner marketing lead here at Netstock. Netstock is an inventory and demand planning solution here in the Microsoft space. And then I am also the host and creator of Ambush on Air, which is my podcast that I like to bring on different speakers all around sales, marketing, and partnerships within the ERP space. So check that out if you have a moment.
Awesome. So, Brianna, we want to kick this off by educating everyone on what the partner marketing event is and all of the details around that. So I'm going to hand over controls to you, let you share your screen, and if you wouldn't mind sharing some information with us.
Yeah, of course. So let me get up what we need. Okay. So, partner marketing event. This year, our third one is happening on May 13th. It'll kick off at 7:30 in the morning. This event happens before DynamicsCon. Kind of think of it like a pre-conference event. It's a good opportunity to find your peeps, make some connections and relationships before DynamicsCon if you're attending, so that you have some people to go into it with and some bonds already forged. This event is ticketed separately from DynamicsCon, so if you already have a DynamicsCon ticket, you're going to also need to purchase a PME ticket and vice versa. Luckily, we get to work with some of the wonderful leaders of the marketing professionals group, as well as Rick and Adam and Jason from MSDW, to create a really great and strong agenda this year. So like I said, we'll start off with some light breakfast at 7:30 in the morning on May 13th, in case you forgot.
Can I interrupt you real quick? We cannot see your screen. Would you mind trying to reshare?
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
That's okay.
You were on a roll, and I was like,
She
oh,
was, and I was like, take a breather.
Now you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
cool.
you.
All right, well, what I'm looking at and what the audience can look at is the DynamicsCon website. There's a little sub-tab for the partner marketing event. And it just displays all of the agenda details. So if you really want to get into what each session's about and prepare your day, this is a great resource for you. So like I was ranting on about, we'll start the day off with some opening remarks, a keynote, and how this agenda is laid out is we will all be together for a few joint sessions. We have 4 in the morning. We have Rick presenting, we got Kelly, we got Monica, we got Marie and Sam, all the greats of the community sharing with us. And then due to popular demands from last year, attendees really wanted like more track specific content. And so we decided to create 2 different breakout rooms and have 2 sessions going on in those breakout rooms, one for ISVs, one for VARs and SIs. And we have 2 really great sessions in each of those breakout rooms, and then we'll come all together for a joint session and wrap up the day. Throughout the entire day, we'll also have a few like networking breaks, a few chances to really like collaborate and have some conversation throughout the day too. I'm sure Kelly and you guys will go into that more. And then we'll close the event at 4:30 and go to the welcome reception at DynamicsCon. And that's the spiel. Anything else that I missed?
No, I think that's it. So we're going to dig in a little bit more into like what that experience is for people that are attending that. So I'm going to start with you, Sam. I want to hear about what your experience was at PME last year and, some of your big takeaways from that.
Yeah. So last year was my first year going, and I had the pleasure of being on a couple of different panels, talking on a variety of topics, including, filling your funnel and what it means to do, modern marketing now. So my kind of biggest takeaway from that experience is it's one of the only times, or really so far, the only time in our channel where we have a dedicated just marketing hangout, where you don't have a blend of, partner like account managers and like CEOs. Instead, I've got the CMO, right? So we're all like the marketing titles, the marketing workers. And that was really cool to me, just to have that place to bounce off the creative energy and find partners who had similar marketing strategies or ideas to what I was working on or wanting to do to collaborate with in the space. So that was really cool, just to meet a bunch of people, get to know their style and all of that. But the second thing, and like the really big value add for me, is just because there's a presentation someone is doing doesn't mean that it's not collaborative with everyone in the room. I think last year was really cool because everybody kind of engaged the audience as they were, going down their topic or their journey. So you have not just the voices of who are on the sessions that we pulled together for you guys, but also the individuals in the session having a point of view or a talking point as well. So super collaborative, super engaging, super interesting. I think people, when they come to this, they really show up for it, which is amazing. So I'm really looking forward to it. I know we've got a big number this year of people, so I'm really excited.
Sam, I've said in the past too that that's one of my biggest takeaways too, was that there's this audience participation and this collaboration and this sense of sharing and working together. And it's, Rick, we always joke about this in previous years at the partner marketing event, you end up running around that room back and forth with the microphone because you're handing it to everyone in the audience so that everyone in the room can hear them as they're talking too. And it's just such a great sense of community when we have all of these marketers in the room together. Rick, I want to hand it over to you. What was your experience like the last couple of years at PME?
Well, I think, it's a couple of good points here. And I remember back when this was just a thought, I was meeting with Liz and we were talking about putting this marketing day together. And then we brought in MS Dynamics World and we said, okay, what are we going to teach marketers? And I think the first time out, we said, okay, what are we going to teach marketers? Let's put these workshops together. We got 50 marketers in the room and it was excellent. But we soon realized they had a lot more to say than we did. So second time around, we said, okay, let's make it collaborative, right? Let's get them and let them teach each other. I think that's the key. And this third version, so we went from 50 to 75, and we're hoping for 150 marketers this time, which would be incredible. This time, it's even more collaborative, where you're going to see a lot of panel discussions because we want to start the conversation, then let the audience join in, and you won't believe how effective that is and how great the information is. Another thing is there's other partner events out there that we kind of all attend, but a lot of them are Microsoft led. So this is, marketing according to Microsoft in order to market Microsoft. This is different. This is what we do as partners because the ISVs sell their own licenses and the VAR SI partners sell professional services and licenses. It's a different go-to-market strategy than Microsoft has. So I think that's the key to success with this conference. It's feet on the street talking about what's going on and what's working for them. So I'm very excited about, PME 3.0.
Yes.
I love that you mentioned that the planning committee took feedback and read the room and saw that marketers in that room had a lot to say, because once again, this year for 2025 in Chicago, that was a large part. The content selection committee really took that feedback when deciding what sessions were going to be. And Sam and Brianna and myself, and we had a few others on the committee as well, had just incredible sessions to choose from. And we really dug deep into, what does the audience want? What are marketers talking about right now? And where can those, what sessions are going to drive a lot of conversation in those rooms? So on that topic, Sam, can you let us know what sessions you were presenting at Partner Marketing Event?
Yes, so I will let Rick talk about the panel that he so graciously put me on. So I'll leave that for you. But I am doing a session with Hannah Horning from Archer Point on the SI and VAR side. Even though I'm at an ISV, I have consulting clients on the VAR side. So we're going to be talking all about ABM, which to be, I always have these big statements, but ABM is basically the digital marketing of the 2020s. Remember when digital marketing was like the buzzword of all buzzwords in marketing about 10 years ago? And it was like, I'm a digital marketer, not a marketer, right? Well, that has become table stakes. And that's how we kind of view ABM in 10 years, right? If you're not doing it now at some scale, you're going to miss that boat 10 years from now and you're already behind if you're not doing it now. But what we really did is put together a very approachable, like readiness checklist, crawl, walk, run. Like it's very actionable and very bite-sized chewable on how to get started. So I'm very, very excited about that. Hannah and I have very similar styles of presenting, so it'll be fast-paced and fun, but really nice takeaways. And then I'm doing the closing, like wrap up end of day session before closing remarks, all around event marketing. Something we don't talk about enough, but we all do so much of. So I submitted it and I was like, I don't know if they'll pick it up. Like, we'll see. But let's be honest, we spend so much money on events as businesses in this space. And we don't necessarily know how to show ROI back to the business all the time. So I'm going to walk you through some of my like tried and true steps on alignment before and after, how I do an end of the day high and low with my on-site team. And I also am going to give you a template that I usually charge for. So you will get the Sambush Ambush template on events that has like 10 tabs in it to really streamline how you think and approach events. So I am very, very excited and cannot wait. Both of those are first time content presentations. So never presented on either of these topics yet. So that's another thing I love about this is it is net new content all the time. So
amazing. Rick,
Yeah.
can you tell us a bit about the panel you're hosting?
Well, the panel I'm doing is sort of a repeat of one we did on MS Dynamics World last year, but I loved it because we take the data that MS Dynamics World is going to present. And I think this, one of the highlights of the show is they go out and they survey customers, they survey partners, and they survey ISVs of how we all interact together, how we market. So they got some really good data. So ahead of time, we're going to see Jason and Adam from MS Dynamics World present that data. Then we're going to have a panel discussion on content. And really, the discussion is, what are people consuming top of funnel? What do people consume middle funnel? What do they consume near the bottom of the funnel? And it's really interesting conversation. So we're going to, talk a little bit about what we've seen in this data. We're going to comment on it, then we're going to open it up to the audience for even more discussion of what their experience has been. And I think this is key because, my practice work is really around the sales end of things, right? So I help companies from that lead to close and moving through the process. It's changed drastically in the last 5 to 10 years. And a lot of people are still stuck, right? So, consuming content is really, really important within, the top of funnel. And once I've qualified this lead, I still have to nurture it with content. And when they become a customer or they become a reseller partner, you got to keep nurturing all the time because it's hard to stay top of mind. And, there's just so many people trying to get their attention. What do we do as marketers to keep that process going? So when we did this online, it was a great conversation. And I think it's even going to be better when we open it up to the audience.
Definitely.
I love that. And I think, Liz, actually, I'll just pass it over to you so you get your hand up. Oh, you're on mute as well.
No, go ahead, Kelly. If there's time, I had a question for the three of you. So
okay, sure. I just wanted to add to what Rick said. I think that is, talking about those different types of content. I'm really excited to be on that panel. And I think the session that I'm hosting later on in the day is going to be a really good extension of that because we're going to dive deep into case studies, which for me has always been my best performing content. And we're going to talk about that. And really, this is sort of premier content, this panel, but we did have a case study topic here in the marketing professionals group that we did for a meetup, and it was our highest attended meetup. And there was a lot of engagement, a lot of interaction on that, a lot of questions about, marketers who recognize that case studies are very important within the buying journey, but weren't sure how to create them or how to streamline that process. So we're really going to dig deep into some fundamental ideas there and some key takeaways as well.
I love
What
that.
was your question for us, Liz?
I do. Not a planned question by any means, but it just got me thinking, I feel like in our space, sometimes partners and ISVs hold a lot of things very close to the vest, right? Like they don't want to give away their secrets. They're not really open to sharing. I'm just, from your guys' perspective and being part of this partner marketing event and the experiences you've had there, what advice would you have for VARs, SIs, and ISVs about coming and sharing without giving away your trade secrets. Like I feel like there could be a bit of a fear there. They're
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm not going to go to that because I
Yeah.
don't want everybody to know what I'm doing and like repeat my success.
It's interesting that you say that and that you ask that question, because I didn't experience any of that at the last two PMEs.
Yeah.
Everyone in the room, there was just a sense of camaraderie amongst all of these marketers. People were actually being very open about, I tried this and it didn't work. I tried this and it was a failure. I had
Mhm.
success with this. Everyone in the room was so open and helping each other. And there was people even bringing problems that they had to the table to get, everyone to pitch in on ideas of how to solve that. And it was just a wonderful environment of people helping each other. And there was no sense of competition that I didn't find in any of these rooms.
Yeah, and I think one thing I always tell people, because I've been approached by a couple of people over the last 5 years or so, and they're like, how are you okay with just saying everything you do for your marketing strategy?
Right.
You're like giving it away. And I'm like, I'm really not. We're not the same marketer. We're not the same company. We don't have the exact same tool stack, the same audience. Like, we may have similarities. You might also sell the same style of software as me, but nothing else is the same, right? So we don't actually, if you try something that I do that works for me, you're going to do it so differently than me. I'm never going to give you the full outline of my whole, like, here's my strategic program document, take it and run with it, equal competitor, right? But something that I
But what
always
is an equal competitor? I don't know that exists in our space, because I could give another commerce partner my playbook. They could copy my campaigns word for word. At the end of the day, we have different teams and we have different products.
Yep.
So I don't think a campaign copied would have the same effect. So it's never been something I've been worried about.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think some maybe VARs more so are concerned about it, at least in my experience. Reseller partners have had commentary back and forth about it. And a lot of them have come to the same realization that's like, we're not actually like apples to apples. We all have our own different flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you have to remember that in these conversations. So the marketers who are willing to go out of their typical comfort and talk about they're good, they're bad, they're ugly, is why we love this community so much anyway. Like, we're all such giving, like, educational friends,
Yeah.
And if
Yeah,
I
and
could
I will
add
say that
something, sorry, go ahead.
if you don't have a unique value proposition that is impossible to be replicated, then we probably have a session for that at PME that you need to attend.
Definitely.
We need to start at ground one for that marketing.
Yeah.
Yes, Brianna? Or sorry, go ahead, Rick.
So I'll add something that, everything we talk about at this conference is available online. This is not new information. We may have some new thoughts and things, but we're going to make it relevant to business applications, because I work with a lot of ISVs that are very new to this Microsoft business application space. And most of them come in here and they fall down quickly, right?
Yes.
Because they try to use the same marketing techniques they did in their direct world that they came through. Now you're dealing with a very set in their way partner world, where the partner is a big part of the decision-making process. Yes. It's very, very different. And I've worked in both worlds. So, I have a good understanding of this. So when we come to PME, we're all marketers. We're all good at what we do, but how do we get better at the marketing space? So I think the marketers share a lot more than the VP of sales sitting on the trade show floor does with the next VP of sales, for sure, because they're working bottom of funnel deals. I'm not telling you anything, right? Or we're really, working top, mid funnel, trying to push things down to our sales team. So I think we're always looking for what's new and what's the latest education, and then how do we fine tune that for Dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
So true.
Yeah, Brianna.
So kind of branching off of what Rick was talking about, I've had a few people email me like they're interested in PME, but I'm a one-woman business and I don't really have any marketing knowledge. And this event seems like it's got a lot of marketing, buzzwords going on, but I don't really know that much stuff. Can you guys talk a little bit more about how this is like a great event for them, and also what kind of mindset should they have going into the event?
Yeah, that's a great question. We had a few individuals at the event last year that were in a very similar situation, and they got so much out of it. And I think they were just writing notes all day long. So I would say bring a pad of paper and pen if you're in that situation, because you will learn so much and you will meet so many new friends that can help you along the way. And I think that they might get more out of it than some of us seasoned marketers.
Totally.
Yeah.
And if I can just add to that, my business, there's 3 of us working here. We're small business in what we do. And I love this event because people tell me what's working with trade shows, what's working with direct mail, what's working with text and online demos, and like all that conversation that goes on, and saying, you know, we find this is more active for us now, or this is a bigger part of my spend. Really, as a small business owner, I need to know this, right? Because I'm investing in how I present partner talks or my services out there. So I want to know I want the pulse of this group of people, Dynamics. I need to know the pulse. So if you're an independent, or if you work for one of the biggest ISVs in the world, you need to be here to understand the pulse.
And I think being here at this one-day event is actually a shortcut to learning all of that, because you're going to go home with a strategy. You're going to understand it all in one day.
Yeah.
And even if you are from the sales department or the VP of sales, and you're going to be at, you know, on the conference floor selling, you need to come to PME, because the more you understand about how to work with marketing and how you need to integrate it much better than you do now in most cases. I think you're going to see how people do it, and again, understand the pulse of marketing and the pulse of your sales team and how it has to work together.
Yeah,
sure. I have kind of 2 levels of advice. So for that person who's, you know, I'm a single business or a single marketer, not sure what to do, as Kelly said, like, take notes, come in as a listener. And my biggest advice, especially since the event is before the conference, read the room, see who is answering these questions for others, see who is actively participating as just a collaborator. And now you've got multiple days that you are surrounded by them in some way. We all are there because we care about the community and we care about the success of our partners and friends. It's a perfect time to grab one of us afterwards and say, your session was really great, but it was a little over my head. Can you explain this? Or can you, like, this is my business challenge. How would you apply that? Right? These are your people to learn from more than anything. So that's my big advice. And then my second flip of it is the sales lead side of things. I always really talk about one revenue team and not a sales and marketing team. I like a chief revenue officer who everybody reports into, right? But that's not always the case. But I think in the emerging way of revenue teams in the next 5 years, we're all going to basically be looking at bottom of funnel for most of our work in the future. That's my opinion. That's how I see the stats going. And I think if you want to be at the cusp of your sales career, you need to start getting involved in what it means to do ABM and how you can scale it within your organization on your side, as well as the marketing side, right? So I think there's so many little pieces of information that span more than just your traditional, I'm a marketing director or marketing manager, right? I think I think it covers a lot of different titles in the business, especially depending on size and organization setup.
I couldn't agree more.
I've got a comment on this too. I'm chief revenue officer, VP of sales side of things. That's been my career. And I've got to tell, if you're a sales director, a VP of sales, you need to come to this, because we've got to teach these marketers what we do, because they're very good at filling up the funnel. But there's still a gap in them understanding what we do in the field to get it over the finish line. So sure, we want to hear from the marketers, we want to get their pulse, but it's always great when we have, you know, that VP of sales, director of sales in the audience to comment on things and give their feedback. And we got that big time last year, and I think we're going to get it even bigger this year.
Exactly.
It was so nice to have that last year and have some sales professionals chime in with their feedback and kind of balance out a large room of marketers, in our opinion. So yeah, looking forward to that this year as well. So I want to thank all of you guys for joining me today and sharing your experiences and what to expect here. I think we've answered a lot of people's questions that have been considering coming to this event. So Brianna, I believe you may still have a coupon code available for people that are considering a partner marketing event.
Yes, I do. Do you guys see my screen?
We do, yes.
Yes, I got it this time. All right, so join me at PME is the magic code. If you just put this, scan this QR code on your phone, it'll populate the code right in to the registration page. Yeah, so that's the code.
Love
Amazing.
it.
And then while we are in Chicago, if you are a member of the of the Marketing Professionals Meetup group, we are doing a lunch Thursday, May 15th, 11 a.m. to 12:30. That's during the conference's regular lunch break there. What we'll do is we're all going to grab lunch together, and then we have a designated room that we're going to go sit, enjoy lunch together, and chat about what we've been learning at the event. So if you're in Chicago for the DynamicsCon for the full event, we'd love to see you on the Thursday as well as the partner marketing event. So again, I want to thank everyone for joining us today and sharing this information. And if you have any questions about the partner marketing event, you're not sure if it's the right event for you, or you want to talk a little bit more about your situation and see if you think you're going to get the best education needed for you out of this, then you can reach out to any of us on this call. We're happy to answer any of your questions.
Definitely.
Thanks again, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you guys.
Take care.
See ya.